Welcome back to Extreme Sketching. We're going to continue looking at Edward Wadsworth. His still life paintings combine natural objects such as shells with man-made or machine-made objects. It juxtapositions these together to create the paintings. Last week we looked at how to draw shells, so this week we're going to explore how to draw man-made objects, and we're going to be drawing a coach screw. To make this realistic, I haven't practiced, and this first sketch is going a little bit wrong, but following the principle of not using a rubber, we're just going to complete it. We're about sketching and filling the page, and we're going to learn as we go along. So I'm now on to the second sketch, hopefully learning the mistakes of the first. So whilst the first one had quite an unrealistic base, this second sketch seems to have a better base. So it's always good when you can see the improvement in your work, the difference between the first and the second drawing. I'm using the edge of the lead of the pencil to try and put the screw thread on, and then just trying to look at where the dark and lightness is, look at the object closely, and then try and echo that, putting a little bit of shadow to anchor it on the page. I'm now drawing the top of the coach screw. This is because the threads are really hard to draw, so just to give myself a break and to try and fill the page, we'll try drawing something a little bit easier. Right, back to a three-dimensional view. Okay, putting the construction lines in first and then drawing the shape onto those construction lines. Don't press on too hard because we're going to try and avoid using a rubber, so we draw as lightly as we can, and then when we've got the line in the right place we can go over it and press on a little bit harder. Okay, I'm just putting the rest of the shape, very shading quickly, remember. We're trying to fill the page in our lesson, so we've only got half an hour to completely fill the page. Now, when I said I never use a rubber, I've made a mistake on there, so I've had to resort to a rubber to rub out those lines. So occasionally you can use a rubber, but try and avoid using a rubber as much as you can. And we're just putting a little bit more detail in, and then quickly on to the next sketch. Now I'm so annoyed with myself for having to use a rubber, I've now changed to biro, so I can't rub this out. So it means I've got to really concentrate, getting the lines in the right place, forcing myself to try and draw without a rubber, using the biro to fill in the shape. And now we're getting onto the thread part, the hard part. Okay, working quickly, use it just like a pencil, you can get the shading in. Lots of different textures you can get with the biro, very underrated media. Okay, and you've all got a biro in your pencil case, so it's something, it just adds a little bit of difference onto the page. You can use blue, you can use black, you don't have to use a green biro. Now, to change things up again, I'm using a Sharpie or a cheap equivalent of a Sharpie, and I'm just drawing with solid black. So we're not putting lines in, I'm just trying to draw with blocks of black to give me the screw shape. And then I'll do some details as well. We're just trying to fill the page. And remember, this is about exploring, finding out what works and what doesn't. I mean, I don't know if this is going to work when I start it, and I'm not practiced. I'm just trying different stuff. It fills the page and makes it interesting. So done a detail with the black, so I'll now do a detail close up with the green biro, right close in, looking at the very tip of the coach screw. It just adds a little bit of interest onto the page. Again, shade to make the darkness. Go over it again and again. And lastly, I'm now going to try a negative bit of sketch. So rather than drawing the object, we're going to draw the shape around it. So then we're left with the shape in white on the page. And then we're going to add the title at the bottom, machine made objects. Try and make it as neat as possible. We have the completed sheet showing all the experiments of the set screw. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and check out the last high quality video on how to win at GCSE Art.